Boris gets his mic settled, and let's give, like I said, 2-3 minutes until everyone joins.
It takes a bit of time for everybody to. I think we had a different channel we advertised or something. So, but if they get on the Discord, they see the green thing pop up there, join, right?
Yes, they should. It should be in community call. We opened we created the call in a private channel. Unfortunately, that was our mistake. But we should be okay. There we go. Yuan is joining. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Yuan.
Hi guys. Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Thank
Is there a way to? I think there should be a way to put it on the speaker or something, maybe. Or is it automatically like that? Some people wrote me in private that still doesn't hear very loud, so maybe but I cannot see any speaker switch. So maybe their phone or their app, it's not doing the speaker, it's doing like a phone conversation instead of doing the speaker. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's different on mobile phone. I have some.
Yeah. Okay. So you drag. Yeah. Okay. So you drag from the bottom where you have the buttons. You can drag that menu, and then you can go change audio output, and then you select speaker, and then it should be louder. I mean, this should be default, right? Okay, so people are still joining, or do we start?
I think we can get started. It's been 60 for a while, so let's hope. I think Grizz is muted now. See if it. But otherwise, I think we can get started. So it's here. We're here, and people can join along the way. Still have a few people joining, but I think we can get this started. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. We're excited to talk with you and to engage with you, hear your questions, your doubts, your inquiries, and share with you as well what our vision is and what we're excited for during the future, and go through the launching process and a little bit do a recap like we tend to do and we want to do every month with all you guys. So having said that, Yosef, I'll let you take it off and give us a little bit of an intro.
Thank you, Alvaro. So yeah, guys, past week was really hot for everybody in all directions, and I just want to extend my thanks and celebrate a bit with all of you, because what we have done, it's the best, let's say, part of the project was the launch and the exchange. Everybody was excited. We worked for 2 years providing value to the product, and now we can clearly see where it stands in the market, and the results are, from our point of view, amazing. We're more than happy with the current results, and this gives us a barometer that we as a whole community can use, and everybody in this room, but not only here, can improve upon during our day-to-day, let's say, business. So this is what it means is, for the first 2 years, most of the pressure was on the team. But now it's not only the team, but we can work as the whole community. And Alvaro will delve into that on how he's planning to do these things. But now your influence is going to be much more relevant than it was, like a year ago or so, when it wouldn't affect the price, wouldn't change anything. So I think it's important to discuss these matters and remind everybody that we're all, let's say, in the same direction. We're all on board with the project, and we want to push this as far as possible. From a project development perspective, technically, I decided to discuss in our next call because we're still closing down on a couple of issues. There's a couple of issues on the staking contract. They're not widespread, but there's some cases where it doesn't work right. So that's our first priority. But then we want to plan better what happens in the next couple of quarters next year, and and plan on how to develop the decentralized DNS and how to wrap the framework, which are the two remaining things on the roadmap, and then to look how we can further improve the project with confidential AI and in the direction of scaling up. So these are, let's say, main points on the roadmap. However, we don't have a clear description right now. I have to consult myself with the CTO, with Andreas, and come up with a proper plan we can communicate. Then on the marketing side, you'll hear a lot from Alvaro. And then, of course, the point today to meet is to take questions from the community and try to answer them. And then, of course, I want to congratulate the participants that are also Romanian nationals. They're a big part of our community. It's Romanian's national holiday today. So let's say la mulți ani to everybody that is from there. And let's go ahead, and I think Alvaro, you can go ahead and explain how we plan to expand on the community side and what everybody can be part of, because now there is a good incentive to do so.
Absolutely. So, like all of you guys know, and you're aware, and I'm reading your messages not only here in the AMA, but during the past 4 days since listing, we need marketing. Okay. Now, we are aware of this, and we're covering it, and we're not only covering, but we're in discussions with a lot of you. Like, there's a good percentage of the people here present. You guys are ambassadors. Okay, so we speak, we are in contact, and you guys know a little bit the direction that we've been working on so far. And I've been talking to a lot of you, and you guys have also been feeding a lot of ideas and sentiment from the community. And so, of course, like Yosef said, I want to appreciate that, but we also want to really take it into consideration when it comes to shaping and everything that's to come, right? So your opinion and where you see the project going is very important. I see people already talking about a DAO and about next messages. Of course, I see also a little bit of disappointment, and I want to address that later on, perhaps, as well, because, I understand that sometimes when you put, patience and hope and expectation into a, 2-year process, there's, everyone generates their own expectation, but I think it's also very important to look at what we have achieved, which is having the product, launching in these market conditions, and being stable with the world in front of us for us to grow and make this happen. Okay, so listing is not the end. Quite frankly, it's the opposite. It's the beginning. So having said that, guys, I want to go a little bit through what the roadmap for the next, let's say, 6 months is. Okay, we up until like the second quarter of 2024 when it comes to market. Okay, now this is a process that also entails to do a little bit of BD, of business development, right? Because we still want to strive to grow the ecosystem on all its different facets, right? This is not just about, we've never been, and you know this, about, let's just pump the token, right? And we've never been about getting people that aren't real in the Telegram, or getting people that are just in it for the money or for the giveaways. We've always done our most effort and our best to engage in a truthful manner, right? So that is not going to change. And looking forward, our main target is to integrate the Polygon ecosystem within Ethernity Cloud, right? So we want to replicate the same process that one of our competitors, Akash, one of the probably the biggest DeepIn in the market, did with the Cosmos ecosystem, and how they integrated different players, not just developers, but different, of course, dApps and potentially even clients, right? So we are continuing to do that process, and we have quite an interesting roadmap set up in that direction, with Bacon Baskets being represented today by Grizzly here as usual. And that is going to, so we've been in conversations with them already for about 3 months, right? And we were waiting to be listed because that's what attracts developers. And so now it's a matter of understanding exactly what Polygon need and what Polygon want, so that we can kind of also frame our solution in a way that integrates best with their diversity. So currently, Polygon have offered us to participate with them in 3 different categories, which is DeFi, NFT gaming metaverse, and their devs studio, right, which is more the dApp development. We are planning, of course, to have AMAs per each one of these categories, but honestly, the AMA is just a way to get us out there. We are much more interested in having these direct conversations, which we're already having, and getting in touch with, like I say, the different players in these categories, right? Now, on top of that, there's also a 4th element through Polygon that we're very, very interested in, and is the DeepIn integration. So what we want to do is actually contact other DeepIns that belong to the Polygon ecosystem, and create a DeepIn collective where we can attract a larger marketing support and an increased attention from Polygon, right? And so this starts with doing AMAs, community calls, with blending in with all these different communities to see where the intercrosses come, but it goes all the way also to seeing what potential integrations, right? So in this process that is going to last for the next 6 months, you can already see there's a double end here, okay? We're going to see how we can integrate and get use cases going, and then at the same time how we can, just bring in developers and bring in players from the Polygon ecosystem, okay? So this for us is a huge deal. And it's gonna are the main focus of let's see, the BD side, right? Because we've seen it work already with the Cash with Cosmos, and we want to replicate it. Okay. Now, having said that, I know that a lot of your urges, and it's also become ours, is okay, but let's get the token, let's get it up in price. And of course, although we cannot guarantee that, because no one can, and we can't speculate with that, what we can do is do our best to get the project in front of the right eyes and in front of the right communities. And that's going to be, of course, one of our main focus for the short term. Okay, we're going to target that short to midterm immediately. So what are we doing? We're working already in conversations with 2 different agencies that are going to put us in contact with influencers and KOLs. We are also taking in suggestions from you guys. I know, for example, CoinPost is the Russian channel is a community favorite. So we're gathering a pool of different influencers and different KOLs that would like to delve deep into the product and explain it to their community in a way that really can truly engage new users, right? So of course, along with that, there's a strategy per channel. So the influencers are going to be spread across Twitter, Telegram, and YouTube. Those are going to be our 3 main focuses of action, and they're gonna slightly differentiate in terms of themes, right? On Twitter, we want to focus a lot on confidential computing and on security and on confidential AI. Okay, you guys talked about big partnerships. We are working on getting these big partnerships in as well. We're doing so by having conversations with NVIDIA, for example, right now, amongst others that I'll keep for the next community call. But the truth is that we're working on that front. And Twitter is going to be the main place for us to create content and to attract users around those areas, right? Confidential AI is going to be a big one. And like we shared with you guys last week, NVIDIA are putting out a program based on confidential computing. They're asking for a technology that we have. Okay, so the market is telling us right now that there is a desire, there's a need for what we have. Okay, so it's coming. Now, on top of that, a lot of other things that are coming. Let me go one by one. We're going to keep running hackathons, right? So we had our first iteration pre-token launch of the Mind Hackathon in collaboration with Gosh, with over 90 projects that applied, without us doing any serious marketing around it. Okay, so we're going to do that one very well. We had 4 finalists. One of them is already integrated. The other 3 are in the process, right? So a lot of use cases going to come out of that, and that's for humanitarian purposes. And we're going to do a second iteration of that. On the same time, at the same level, we're going to open the grants program to spread out through the Polygon ecosystem. Okay, it was open before, but now how much more relevant is it, right? Now, on a level of perhaps more small, detailed marketing actions, the Zealy community, a lot of you guys here are involved in it, has been a massive success. It's been able to allow us to have these community calls that we're having right now, and to have people engaged and understanding the product and sharing it, and we are incredibly proud of that, guys. We're incredibly proud of you guys for your collaboration and what we've built there, and that is the foundation of what's to come. So the next step is for us to open the Zealy to the entire community. Okay, so we're still working on figuring out the rewards distribution. That doesn't mean that you as ambassadors are going to make less, because we're going to see how we separate community reach and ambassador development. There's two different things, but we want to have the capacity to really create viral content, right? And to have our community pump out in the direction that we need, especially with, what our main focus right now is, which is getting the token out as much as possible, right? We listened to you and we read a lot of the comments in terms of website updates. So there's a few things that we have to do with the website that has to do with integrating the token, integrating Bitmart, improving the developer page, and optimizing for search. So those are going to be priorities for the next 3 months. That's going to be done somewhere along Q1. Of course, there's also the concern of listing, right? We have been cautious. We know that. But it's been on purpose, guys. We need you to understand that there's been a strategy and a reasoning behind everything that we've done. And we wanted to list on Bitmart, and we wanted to do that in a way that we got out there and we got stable, and then slowly we can start incorporating new exchanges and looking to facilitate the creation of liquidity pools for DEXs as well, right? So those things are, of course, our priority. That's going to probably come early Q2, but that's a little bit when our timings are. But we are in conversations with over 5 different listings that are in the top 15 in terms of volume. Okay, so that is a thing, and that's happening. Right, just so you are aware of that, and we've been in conversations for the past 2 months, right? So, we think that that's important, and of course, like I said before, one of the, to sum it all up, I think is how do we get in front of other communities, and that's going to be through KOLs and influencer marketing, like the example of CoinPost. We are already in conversations. We already worked with them before. I know a lot of you guys came through there, but just so you know, guys, we're also looking into the Spanish market. We're talking about the fourth, fifth, something like that. Top 5 spoken languages would reach Spain and Latin America, and we're already in conversations with an agency that has over 25 KOLs and that has reach in both Spain and Latin America. So we're looking into that on top of as well USA expansion. Okay, but that might come probably in the second part of the year. We're not, that's not something that is urgent for us. So in terms of marketing, that is I believe a good sum up of what are the priorities. Okay, there's talks of us showing up in a Prime Video TV show, but there's still things that are being worked out. So conversations are being had at multiple levels, and now it's just about choosing a priority where we can get the most yield out of each one of those. Okay, so that's a little bit what's happening on the marketing level for the next 2 months. I don't know, Yosef, Johan, what do you feel I left anything important out? Grizzly, I know you're there as well. I don't know if you can talk.
Can you hear
me?
Hello.
Hey, here he is. Okay, here he is.
My bad, guys.
Alvaro, I think you covered everything, but still there are some questions maybe we need to answer. Yes. So, but let's discuss a bit. First, welcome, Grizzly.
Sorry about that.
I'm happy to hear you finally. Is there anything from your side that you wanted to open it with or discuss a bit? And then I think we should switch on discussing a bit about the swap. And you can tell us more about that process with the KYC and stuff we've been through. And then we can start looking at questions and trying to answer them one by one in case they weren't answered. Yeah,
definitely. Just giving the community an update. I've been pretty busy. I know most of the ambassadors know I was in the hospital for a little bit, taking care of some dumb stuff that happened to me. But now that I'm back, I have been working on a Zealy plan to kind of get this all organized so that we can actually mobilize and do these things that we're talking about, right? Because one aspect of these talks is that a lot of the teams and a lot of the market right now, they want to see action within the community, and for me, that's kind of for me personally with what I do, how I help out with Ethernity Cloud, that's kind of a really important part to me, right? Is getting the community active to get the team and the project seen by these other partners that we're working with right now. So that is my focus, guys. And this month I would just ask that everyone, the plan is that we will be, as mentioned earlier as well, we will be opening up the Zealy to the entire community, and that's going to be very important because this is going to mean that everyone can follow kind of a protocol and get us, help us to get out there on social media. It's very important for the algorithms. It's very important, to be seen. So with that being said, guys, I'm very excited to kind of be back, getting into work and planning this and implementing on daily. I've been catching up on some of the ambassadors' talks and everything like that. I think some really good ideas are being passed around, and I really hope to be able to grow the ambassador program a little bit because we've seen some amazing work from the current ones, and I think if we can continue with that momentum, guys, like the team will be unstoppable. I know we're having, people do have some issues right now, but I've never been a part of a project where like everything's gone perfect, right? It's always, there always is something. There's so many moving parts to this. So with that being said, I do want to just let the community know that December, y'all are going to get 110% from me. So long as I don't end up back in the hospital or anything like that, y'all are going to get 110% from me. So, after the call or anything like that, if there's anything that needs to be discussed with the ambassador program or anything like that, feel free to tag me. I'm here for y'all. I am. I always try to answer everybody in a timely manner. So yeah, that's all I have to say about, kind of my updates and what I'll be doing for this month.
Thank you, Grizzly. I think this is very good. Okay, so I want to hear also, or you guys want to hear more. I know there are so many questions about the swapped app and then the KYC and the AML. I want Yuan to explain because he was taking care of that process, and he can tell you where are we in an aspect of our buyers, Ethernity token buyers, how that went through, and then how we're sitting as overall, like how the process is and why it's not so easy. And after that, I want to discuss a bit or open up the idea in some directions how we can make these things better in the future. So go ahead, Yuan, and yeah, just I just want to hear also, and everybody wants to hear the side of the story on our side, because on their side we all know it. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Yosif. First of all, I want to say hi to everybody. I'm so excited to have each one of you on this virtual meeting tonight. I know there's been a long road, and we are still here together with you guys, and we are happy to share all the good things that happened in the past, and also we want to build together. Okay, the KYC process. In our commitment to maintain the higher standard of compliance and security, we have to recently to implement some changes into the KYC process. Basically, what we have done, we have raised the KYC level, and we had to include the proof of address into the KYC process. I just want to let you know, guys, that this decision is made by us, but following the rules that the legal side is giving to us. Basically, the legal landscape in the cryptocurrency industry is evolving. So, in response to these changes, we are diligent ensuring that our operation align with the latest legal requirements. So, guys, I just want you to understand that this is the law. What crypto has been 5 years ago or 4 years ago doesn't happen those days. We have a legal framework. We are operating in the EU, so we need to follow those rules. I know that for some of you guys, those changes have some impact into the KYC process. But what I want you to know that more than 99% of the initial buyers of ETNY just passed the KYC process with a proof of address included as well. There's been some other buyers. Basically, they are not buyers. They are guys who gained the token as a part of bounties or any other marketing campaigns we have done. Some of them didn't pass the KYC, and maybe some of them will never pass it. But this is not something we can intervene, because this is a legal framework. We need to follow up, and we need to understand. And I wanted to give you a hint, because I saw a lot of mistakes. Like, basically, one of them is to have, if you put an ID, for example, in I don't know, Romanian language, and if you put a bill in English language, maybe they will be, the software from Samsung will see the difference. And my hint is to have the paper in the same language. Also, if with the Russian guys, because we have a great Russian community, if you have your ID in Russian and the Cyrillic alphabet, and you put a bill in English, for example, the software see it somehow doesn't recognize this. Also, there's another hint I saw very often: people being rejected because they have plastic covers on their ID. Just remove the ID from the plastic and have a live picture with that, and everything will be fine. Those are some hints I want to give you from our side, and I wanted to let you know that we have also an ML agent, and he will take the cases one by one. That's going to be not an easy process, because you will have to provide some documents, and I can advise you to collaborate with our AML and provide him the documents so he can do the due diligence and approve or in the worst case deny your application. This is from my side regarding the KYC, and hopefully in the future we will not be put in this situation to adopt last minute change, because even for us it was a nightmare to implement those changes, last hour changes. This is not likely, but you don't play with the legal side, and even if at this moment doesn't affect you too much, after 2 or 3 or 4 years, that can be a boomerang effect against you, and it works in that way. Recently, I think every one of you have heard what happened with Binance, what happened with Cristiano Ronaldo, who promoted Binance also. He has some problems regarding the NFT project that he promoted. We just want to make sure that we meet all the legal requirements at this point in time, and we are doing everything to reach those legal requirements, so we will not have problems in the future with the legal requirements. Thank you.
I think that's very important to mention to everybody. You know, like, crypto is becoming more mainstream, and because it's becoming more mainstream, the rules and regulations are going to get clamped down a little bit. And, you know, this is happening all across the crypto sphere. Every project I'm in is pretty much implementing some kind of KYC thing now. And it's, you know, it's unfortunate that it's happening in our industry, especially after like pretty much 10 years, almost a decade of kind of, you know, free market economy. But, you know, the big players are, I think we all realize, like, big players are wanting to get in. You know, they need these kind of regulations in order to play ball as well. And it does kind of suck for the smaller guys, you know, in the ecosystem, especially if you've been here, you know, since 2017, 2019, 2020. I mean, this is kind of new stuff, right? We're having to become a little bit more professional about how we go about things. And you'll notice, like, a lot of the teams, they've just dropped off because they're not going to implement any kind of KYC. They're not going to do this. They're not going the distance that needs to be gone in order to be successful in the space now. And that's one thing that, you know, makes me confident in being with Ethernity Cloud, is that we're taking the right steps to legitimize ourselves, not just in front of the Web3 community, but in front of everybody, you know?
Yeah, that's totally right. Really, it's for us, it's it's not so easy to wait, and because the company was formed in Malta a while back, it was the first country in Europe that actually made some regulations, and we decided to do it there. So we know what path to start on, and so we have a future, so we don't have to jungle or risk anything. And this is the reason why the whole development and everything happened there, and the whole stuff. Now, as part of the plans to onboard new users, which, let's say, this whole regulatory process is complicated. However, seems that, and this is what we're discussing with our legal team now, that centralized exchanges kind of solve this issue. In a way, if the community set up pools in decentralized exchanges, then we don't have to worry about so much about this KYC, this AMLs that all the centralized exchanges are doing or will be doing. And people can easily swap or trade from their MetaMask or their preferred wallet. So using DEXs and like Uniswap or like 1inch. So the reason why this came up on our let's say legal team discussion, it came up I think in the summer as a post-listing, post-check listing. The reason is, and everybody knows, and this has been discussing, like, hey, why we're not on CoinGecko, why we're not in CoinMarketCap. The problem is those platforms don't put any more projects on their websites unless they're listed on checks first. And then they allow you to get there, no matter how much money you pay them. They don't take the liability of listing a token that's not listed. This was different before. As I remember, we had the ETNY listed on CoinGecko. They listed it without us telling them or anything in 2021 or something like that. But then they decided to wipe all the unlisted tokens. So I think to the day they haven't listed, even though we wrote them several times. So, but they respond, they ask follow-up questions, legal stuff, and then they list it. So it's just a matter of time for this to happen. So the strategy was, we can build a campaign around the token that's, not even CoinMarketCap or anywhere. So then we decide, okay, we do the listing, we do all the requirements, we put it on Bitmart, and then we can build up a community and campaign around that. And meanwhile, we can look at putting the token on the swap, on MetaMask, everywhere where people can buy it right away. So users, as soon as they look at the project, they understand what it does, and they want to buy it, so they can do it without losing time, submitting to platform, doing all kind of IDs and stuff. Like they already have some crypto, they can swap, USDT, and then from USDT or from Matic, we can do a Matic pair as well. It is based on our community, how they want to use the ecosystem. So this is covering, I think, one of the aspects. I'm going to go ahead and answer some other questions here. A lot of stuff was, I think, answered by us already. But
yeah,
I'm gonna go
to the question. You're looking at Yaroslav's list, right? I think.
I'm looking at yours. Yeah. So first things first, the staking of ECLD, it's not provided by Ethernity Cloud as a staking mechanism. The reason it's pretty clear. Those tokens are locked in a staking contract or the staking mechanism on ETNY. So we can have them either or, one side or the other. And right now they're there. We already have contracts for 5 years over there. So we cannot move them out of there from a legal perspective or a technical one at this point. what we have to wait is for the 5 years to finish, and then we can decide. But at this point, the pool of tokens will run out from staking. So unless there's a good reason to migrate everything or do some very big effort to migrate this over to ECLD, because this is another option to migrate everything over, take everybody consent and say, okay, we're moving to ECLD. I don't see any good reason to do this as of now. Right, so this is one aspect. However, ECLD might be able to be staked on different, staking mechanisms, or by different, let's say, DeFi applications or dApps that do different things in the ecosystem, which can provide stake on top of it. But this is not something we control. It's rather something the decentralized ecosystem controls in DeFi. Maybe there will be some pools where you can add ECLD and other things and get something back. But this is nothing we control. For instance, I know in DEXs you can submit to a pool and then you get a percentage out of the trade as a pool contributor. And I mean, if there's a lot of trades, you can also get a lot of, revenue percentually. So you can, think about it as a way of monetizing your stake already. But it's not like staking straight up. It has to have, volume, for instance, on this case. So it might be other applications which we don't control, but we will empathize or try to explore and provide liquidity for any use case like that matters. And if you have any ideas, if those things they work and they're useful, then we're more than open to hear about it. So pretty much anything we're addressing or discussing today, it's I just want to remind you that you can tell us about it if you have any ideas, since we're announcing this direction we're taking from here. Then let's see. There is another question: ability to run base stake with CLD. From here, I can say we have plans, but this we have to clarify with our hardware affiliates. If they would take ECLD as a payment, if they will be able to integrate that, I think you'd be able to pay, but we have to discuss that with them. We don't have a clear statement from them. It's just something we have on our plan, but I don't see a reason. Maybe they will take a small fee, but that's about it. And we can come. So basically, we can buy ECLD and then discuss with hardware affiliate, buy a node, and so on, and go through that process. Give more rewards for less stake coins on a node. This is impossible because it's written in the tokenomics, and there's no way we can put more rewards than they are already, and they are for the amount of tokens. So the more tokens are staked, the less rewards exist. This is the model. A roadmap update. Of course, this is by the end of the month, we will announce the more detailed roadmap. Now it's a community call, which of course is information we got on the roadmap. Feelings on CoinGeek, on CoinMarketCap, already addressed that. Burning, the coins are burned every time there is a transaction executed on task, then the coins are burned. Posts on Twitter and social media, I think this happens. I'm not sure if we count, maybe it's not every week one, but every 2 weeks for sure.
No, this is happening. At least we have several Twitter.
Yeah, okay, last week it's an exception, or this week is an exception. I think we had more than ever, but in general, we post. Partner with big, well-known companies. So all I can say, guys, is I networked and I'm in contact with different well-known companies. I can say from the banking sector, one bank at least, that we go in advanced technical talks. But we're exploring the areas where the use case it's very good because we want to nail a few verticals and explore that. So one of the verticals is, and I discussed this in an interview with Daniel Mihai. One of the verticals is securing management of files and images from phones directly, using our technology for the management of the encryption and everything. And the other use case is looking at confidential AI as a method of doing AI using our ecosystem. So from partnerships, we will announce them. We have a few partnerships, let's say, which we already did about last year and 2 years ago, which we haven't announced yet, but we work with them as technology partners. And then we will look at more technology partners, but the following up announcements as we sign agreements will be customers, companies, or businesses that wants to use our product. Whether they're big or not, I think it doesn't matter at this point. I think at this point it matters that to showcase this to the community, and when developers reach our page, our developers page, after we revamp it, to make sure and understand how it works. This is the aspect that we're currently lacking because we focus on building a technology. There's a patent pending, and we wait for a response on that. And then there's another patent on the works, and which we'll submit it before the end of the year, hopefully, which covers everything that we have developed. And then we will publish all together on our website. So anyone can openly use our technology in great detail. So this is going to happen before the end of the year, hopefully, and then it's going to accelerate our adoption. Then what comes next? Let's see what's here. Reviews, bloggers. We have So of course we want to engage with bloggers, but it's a problem. Not a problem, but it's not the right moment to do it right now. Right now, the market is not really hot. So we and this kind of addresses also the performance of the listing. I understand some people are not happy about the price, especially if they participated in the last round and they expected to make revenue or get rich or whatever. This is not the moment to get rich. In most of the projects right now, the market is after the winter. It's kind of it's kind of started to move a bit, but it's nowhere near hot as it could be, or it will become much more than this. So this is a wave that's coming in front of us, which we will all ride. It's not just like some people from the community. Everybody's part of this. So the fact that people bought this in the highest of the market in 2021, now it dropped the whole ecosystem, the whole market. So they need to understand this and maybe research a bit of how market works. And when the market comes back on a bull run, then everybody benefits. Meanwhile, there's no way we can make exceptions. We cannot decide that, unfortunately. What we can look at is the reference, which is Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped, 40-50%, or is it 40-50% compared to what it was in the bull run? And now our token, it's the same, 40-50% drop for what it was in the bull run. So that's why we call it kind of not like it's not a big success, but we're amazed that we're still there in the market. We're relevant. We're as relevant as Bitcoin, which is good compared to other crypto and other projects that fell right after 1 hour or 1 day. They went to crap in this market. So I think we're on a much better side, and we're moving with strong step in the right direction with the marketing as well as the product development and raising awareness and bringing use cases. So that's why it's good, but it's also I feel for the people that came up on board in last round, and I understand that. I took part in all the rounds myself, and I understand this, and I understand the market, and I understand why we did the launch now. The reason we did the launch now is so we can onboard further people and grow together. And we need this growth, and we need to start somewhere. If we list it, let's say next year, maybe too late, it doesn't feel like that, because we need to act as a team. And while we will act as a team, and part of this is creating groups, focus groups, which we will announce to do various actions through the ambassador program. As we do that, we grow and we onboard new people because the token is listed. If the token is not listed, it's almost impossible to do something like that because nobody has any reference. And the success is looking at this project and the token is because in the first part of like the first hour of listing, first few minutes, yes, some people dropped the token. But if you look at how many, it's like it doesn't really matter. It's just some weak hands that, I don't know, whatever. Maybe they had something to pay or they were in debt or whatever. But the point is, we're all here and we're moving forward. And I think this is more important because the speed we take moving forward is going to increase. And, everybody is invited to take part. And I think this is a good opportunity for everybody.
If I could add
so,
to that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
In terms of marketing, one of the blockers right now is that there are a lot of influencers and everything like that who are on the fence about continuing to influence in the crypto market. Number one reason being is regulations. I'm not sure, at least here in America, there have been some influencers that have gotten in trouble for promotions of coins or anything like that. So that is one thing that we want to avoid, right? We're doing things the right way legally, with this KYC stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things, we're not going to get involved with marketers who are in question right now. As for, how can we replace influencers or anything like that? This is kind of where the community effort comes in for everybody, especially the ambassadors, who have been doing a great job pushing forward the Ethernity name. This is kind of how we can grow organically, right? Now, there are other things that we will be doing, to market, but like Joseph said, I mean, a lot of the projects, teams, anybody who wants to, if you want to collaborate with, they're not going to collaborate with you if you're not listed, because at that point you're vaporware. And you're
a liability. What if it doesn't get listed and I'm in trouble? And I felt that across the whole this year. So it's really hard to convey that you're moving forward unless you're listed.
Exactly. And this isn't Ethernity Cloud isn't the only team that I've had or that has had this issue that I've been in discussions with. Previous teams that I've worked for have had the same issue of they weren't listed, so they weren't getting partnerships. So this is something that, I just want the community who might not be on the business and marketing side of crypto or anything like that. That's something I really want y'all to understand is that, the market has changed and people are nervous because they don't know. There's not a lot of clarification on regulation on all aspects of crypto, marketing it, selling it, buying it. There's so much stuff that's missing still that we have to kind of finagle around. We have to march around.
And they're also not efficient, so we have to explore exactly how it works. Because now I know for a fact if one influencer, which let's say in 2021 had a big influence in the space, now you look at they're still doing videos and stuff, but you look at their views and it's nothing. People don't watch it anymore. They don't pay attention. But when the market is going to be hot, we will know whether they're going to pay attention. I mean, they will be on TikTok or all over the stuff. I don't know. We'll see. And then we aim and go there. And then as a matter of fact, if you know very good influencers, but I call this fake influencers. Like, there's people that are in the space that are not really they don't have an audience before crypto existed, or they don't have, let's put it this way, they don't have an audience in the bear market. Those people are the ones we don't want to talk to, because it's the return, like everybody's looking at them, they have a lot of hits because of crypto is popular, but nobody's actually buying. And this is our experience with the whole thing. But on the contrary, if somebody has a community that's been working and teaching them stuff and educating them, then those is the influencer we want to meet. We don't have to necessarily advertise our token like buy this or whatever, but it's okay to speak about it. But those people have a community that actually are interested, and they have much more performance as far as onboarding new users in the space, and they have it works much better because people actually listen to their shows and they pay attention. The number of followers on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, it doesn't measure the level of attention, at least not yet. So we don't know. You can have a billion of followers and they're just watching your channel, making fun or whatever, and not really paying attention to the content. And that's not and then you can have somebody with only 1 million, like 1,000 less, but those that pay attention, and that's what we're looking for. So if you know this, these influencers in your countries or areas or outside of it even, just tell us, because if we reach to them, we can do something great. The point is, we are a great project, they are great influencers, and we can do this. It's very hard. We know in Romania, so I think we touch base there, everybody, because we're from there. But Russia, we just had some contacts and we got lucky as a let's say, to find somebody really, really good. But otherwise, we try different places and we haven't found good influencers, to be honest. So I think this is part of our community where our community just can tell us hey, this guy is he's been there, it's okay in the bear market, and you guys been to the bear market, where what you're looking at, and you can tell us, hey, this guy, you should talk to this guy, and we do it. You just take part in the ambassador program, have somebody from the team, we will reach out to them. It's not so complicated, and now is the best time to do it, as a matter of fact, to reach out to them. But it's not the best time to do something, but it's best time to connect and
open those doors, I would say. Yeah. The doors definitely need to be open. And moving on to number 10, optimizing the site for search engines. This is something we do have planned, for this quarter, or I guess it's going to be next quarter, Q1, right? So this is something that we are going to be working on to ensure that there's more visibility on the website and on our brand specifically. That's super important that we get visibility there. Listing on new exchanges, unfortunately, we can't talk about that. Obviously, if there is talks, we can neither confirm nor deny, right? As of right now, just all I can tell for the community is be patient, guys. There are big things on the way, but that's all I can say in regards to listing on new changes. Attracting investments from other projects. So this is something, like I said, like we talked about earlier, we are working on this. There is a strategy in place to kind of go after these kind of things. So, unfortunately, we can't really talk about our internal strategy. That obviously we're a business, and the things that we do here internally, we don't want to give our competition our ideas, right? So I'm going to skip some of the more technical questions, and we are going to come back to them, right? I'm not the technical guy.
Yep.
So
Chris, let me just. I wanted to also make reference to a few of the comments. The ones that are more also emotional, because I don't want you guys to feel like we're not listening to like Kadir was the first one in here saying we waited patiently for 2 years, and why would we still support you, and I just want to say that it's a legitimate question, and it's a question that I want to try to answer, because the reason why I believe that we should still support and stay together as a team is because we've gone past where 95% of crypto projects go. We've been alive, running for 5 years since initial conception, raised money, now we're listing, and we're here. And now, all of a sudden, because of everything we've done, opportunities arise. And I want to really, like I said before, take pride and definitely not be ashamed, but be very proud of what we've achieved in terms of community. If we've made it this far, it's because of people like Dr. Patlasov, King Ayavami, Silvio, here, co-founding member, all of the node operators, all of you guys that are investors, Mikhail, Gagan, Dimitri, Kung Fu Panda, Yaroslav, all you guys, Lucky, Teo, you guys have made this possible, right? And I say this not to do some bullshit motivational speech. I say this because Yaroslav, for example, and I use you because you're in conversations, he's telling me everything that's going on behind and what the project needs. And so I say this because I want to make reference to the comment, sorry, let me get the name right, EDK001. 007 would have killed that, but I'm sure there's a meaning there. Anyway, I want to make reference to your comment because I understand and it's legitimate. And what I want to tell you is if you want to be in conversations with the developers at the hackathons and you have the technical ability to understand what we've built and to see where the gaps are, man, I am opening the doors of our ambassador community to you right now. Because there's nothing we want more, and there's nothing we need more right now than to fill that gap that you're addressing right now. And the product is there, and I know Joseph is more than happy. In fact, we're having technical meetings with Polygon in the short term to be able to put these, our products and their needs, our solution and their needs on the same page and see where we can fill up the gap. But I am opening the door not just to you, EDK, but to everyone here. And this is a general shout out. Anyone that has the technical knowledge to help us grow, guys, all welcome. And I say that from the bottom of my heart and from both the appreciation and the excitement that I do have because we have a plan. And that's another thing that I think is a reason why we have. We want to stay together because there's a plan looking forward, and we know that we've got marketing to do, and we think that now is the right moment for it, especially looking at like everything that Joseph and Grizzly have been saying about what the market conditions are. But I just wanted to say put that out there, okay, in one of as one of the things that right now I feel more passionate about because I do feel your concern And I get it, and it's like Joseph said before, like you guys waited 2 years, and you want to see something that works and that's real. And after everything that's happened in the crypto space, that's not easy to find, and we have something here, but we need to keep working on it. Like I said, this is just the beginning. This is where the work starts, and this is where all of you guys here present, chip in and really tilt the scale. Like that's how this works.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been talking with the team about, lately is that social action brings business action. This is something that is super important that we see play out time and time again with things like Bonk, with things like, back in the day even. I can't think of the name now, of course. I'm sure we've all had our share of coins that we've messed around with. And, you look back, projects that I was in 2-3 years ago, like they're non-existent. Whereas, Ethernity Cloud has been around for 5 years because they focused on what was important. Even during the bull market, which was building out Ethernity Cloud. So, I know I've been here probably the shortest amount of time, but with everything that I've caught up on and that I've seen so far, I mean, this is definitely one of the most active communities in crypto, right? Like in terms of just individuals participating in conversations, it's awesome. It's awesome to see that. In terms of the team, I mean, these guys are motivated. Most of the teams that I've worked with in the past, besides Parity, the team has only been around for maybe a year or 2 years, maximum 3 years. And then you're talking about, a 5-year team that has been able to survive like multiple different market styles. It's a testament to the fact that the product and the community is real. So, with that being said, I definitely understand everyone's concern, especially when things, when turmoil is brought up, when adversity is brought up, things can get kind of difficult. And every major event in a crypto project's lifespan will bring good news and bad news, and it just depends on who you are and how you interpret these things that really decide, whether or not your outlook on this project is good or not. We are trying our best. I myself am pushing myself to, really think of some out of the box or outside the box ways to, get Ethernity Cloud noticed and get us on the spot for crypto.
And sorry, Chris, but one of the things that also you guys are mentioning, and I forgot to talk about because we don't consider it. It is marketing. Sorry, so it would I should include it, and it's the demo situation with EDK is making reference to, and it's more on the educational side. So that as well, guys, is going to be a main focus. However, having said that, we have been working on it. It's not like we weren't aware of this. And the work of Marcel has been fundamental. He's been a part of a couple of AMAs that we've done with other communities as well. I will share the link with you guys because we want to follow that line in terms of creating non-technical content for our community. Because EDK, what you're making reference to here right now is, okay, guys, we have a real product working. Let's explain to the community why they need it and how they can use it for usual things like the Python language, for example. Okay, and we need to understand this is an extremely technical product solution. Sorry, avant-garde. Like this is ahead of its time in terms of if you put everything together, confidentiality, blockchain, the deep end, So there's a challenge there, and that's why again I'm opening the doors to all of you to become part of the solution. But we are currently working on that, and I just wanted to add it because I didn't mention it before, that creating demos to fill in this gap between our community and potential investors and the technical side is filled up. Okay, so 100%. That is a priority in the short term.
Yeah, and as we can see, the team is growing. It's been a relatively small team up until now, and that's because we're making Ethernity Cloud is making moves. We're getting noticed in the space now. So there's a lot of things that go into whether or not you should judge a project, in a negative light or a positive light. But I think one of the biggest things is taking an outside look and looking at it from kind of like a business way. We've been chugging along this entire time, and we're growing at a time when most teams are just exiting or quitting or giving up. We're putting our money where our mouth is and getting things moving in the right direction. And it's the process, guys. From a business perspective, I'm ex-military and I'm used to hurry up and wait, right? But in the civilian world, things can move a little bit quicker. But here in the crypto world, due to the lack of clarity behind a lot of things, it moves slower. It moves slower. It's catching up to kind of like the corporate world where things, there's some bureaucracy that stands in the way that's outside of our control really now. So just know that, the process is happening, and you'll see it happening as we grow. The community will grow, and through that, the participation will grow, and the ambassador program will grow, and you're going to see the effects of this because implementing a plan and altering it in certain ways, we're following a really good direction, similar to some of the newer teams that are coming online, like on Solana and everything. I've worked heavily in the Solana ecosystem as well, and they have a formula that works. Mixing it in with some of the educational aspects from the Web3 Foundation, I think that makes a great combination to not only just attract a community, but educate a community. So we're not, so we know how to use everything. So that's kind of our focus for over this next year is getting things right. Now that the team is in a size where more things are possible, you're going to see a lot of things moving quicker. But I would still, in my head, it still seems slow, right, to an individual. But as a business, things will start to pick up this year, or 2024, which is 30 days away. So hopefully that kind of puts some context in what everyone is saying here.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Just looking at the thing here. Okay, so we discussed a bit about business development as well, and we went through this, exchanges, okay, investments, of course, we do that, yeah, okay. And NVIDIA, okay, so what is our collaboration with Intel and NVIDIA? I cannot clarify on the nature of the collaboration because there is NDAs in the middle, so we cannot tell anyone what kind of collaboration we have. But it's a technical one. So basically the technology we use, the hardware that's being used in the ecosystem, it's used because we have this collaboration with them. The same we're seeking to do with NVIDIA. On the GPU side, they developed confidential GPUs, which can be used for confidential AI. And yeah, we will announce the hardware, and we will discuss with our hardware affiliates and see what we can recommend as hardware pieces. And yeah, once we put it on the roadmap, we will announce exactly when and how this will go. But for all these developments, of course, we have to consider investments, and we invite anyone that wants to look at this possibility of putting a seed round on these efforts. What we're looking at is expanding to the US. The reason why we look at this is because two of our advisors, Keith and Anita, they're both from the US, and it's very easy for them to connect us there to VCs and everything. And we did talk to a few. The problem is they don't have a mandate to invest in a company that does AI in Malta because it's counterproductive to the global development of, they have mandate to invest in US businesses. For this, we need a US presence. So we're aiming to set up a US presence early next year and go from there. This way we can, look at funding from this perspective. and they recommended us doing this, so we're going down that path. Of course, this whole thing takes time, takes a bit of coordination with lawyers and everything, but we've been discussing this for a while now, so we just have to start executing it. Can we incorporate AI? Yes, I have tested some AI models, but they were not the most recent ones. I think I tested Llama or something like that, or an older ChatGPT 2 or something like that, because those technologies are already like free or something like that. But they're Python based, so our product uses Python. One of the templates uses Python, and of course it can be approved to be adapted to specific Python versions, specific algorithms, and optimize it for performance. As just using it as it is right now, it's good, but it's not good for high production use. Rather for testing. So you can do like a proof of concept or an MVP, but not really a full-scale product just yet. That's why we look at funding. But having AI access our network, it's going to be a lot of use cases because there are so many companies developing AI now, and they want to scale or start from an area where they don't want to spend a lot of money, like buying a server, AWS, or so they want to save some fees, and this is what we have in our ecosystem. We have an ecosystem with very low operational costs, which takes out the corporate middleman for like at AWS or Google, so you don't have to pay all this, hierarchy in this capitalist hierarchy, which allows pretty much the fees to go to the operators, and then the operators don't have to put such a higher price because they're happy with what they're happy. And all in all, there's a big chunk of, let's say, price difference where we can bridge the market relatively easy. Okay, we have full understanding. We need to make sure people understand. Okay, patent already addressed. We're going to buy tokens. We need to do it. Okay, if they are all, or okay, okay. So the staking, of course, ETNY can be staked. ECLD cannot be staked. But as I discussed, there are many options to use it differently. Okay, mistakes. We haven't made any mistakes. Well, the market is the market. Obviously, there are video clips. Some calculations. Yes, we can do video.
For the video clips, just to speak on that, we do have there's quests in the Zealy that are going to be created so the community can also help, in interpreting these videos and making them and everything. So like a lot of these questions, just know that there are plans already. Like we're definitely looking at all avenues of how we can expand in the awareness of Ethernity Cloud. And so more than likely, and I'm not saying that this means that y'all shouldn't keep on putting these ideas up there, but more than likely, we are at some form we've either talked about it or we're implementing strategies to kind of get it going, right? So just from a marketing perspective, I do see a lot of questions here that it's like, we are working on this kind of stuff. But obviously, it can be kind of hefty to update everything that we're going to be working on, as well as putting it in place, like seeing where everything fits. Where does it make sense to do this in December or January, or does it, that kind of stuff. So, on the marketing side, guys, I have a lot of experience with this stuff, and this is my bread and butter. So just know, it's coming. It's coming. I got you.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Okay, so following up with what's coming next, there's a few bugs. Of course, we're working on this, and then we will post them as soon as we found. I think actually we found a solution. It's just a rather we just have to implement, and we were very focused on all the other aspects of the listing and the swap and all that stuff. So now we can focus back on the staking app and the wallet. Okay, calculations. Okay, video clips, right? So senior big offers. Okay, so everybody wants offers for staking. We will make some announcements on this aspect as well sometime next week. Okay, swap and speed up the verification. Of course, is something we're trying as much as we can. In essence, the verification should take less now than it did before, because the amount of requests are lower. But Iwan also mentioned it's not an easy process, so we're doing our best on this as well. Okay, so there's a few questions in the chat here. There's a few EDK people are responding to.
A lot of the questions from EDK have been responded to by either Alvaro or Yaroslav.
Okay, all right.
I think one of the ones.
I see a longer thread here which I really like. I read it earlier. It says, how about creating a prototype demonstrating Ethernity Cloud? What it means. The prototype should be an application that's clear, familiar with general public. So we do have that. It's called a playground. The fact that we have not advertised it, it's because first the users. Okay, so who's gonna try building on an app that has a token in a crypto space but is not listed? Who's gonna spend time just doing that? We face difficulties on that because most of the users in Web3 they want to see, okay, it's a project, yes, okay, let me try this, and then they see a token, it's not listed, and then why should I spend time with this? This is the biggest blocker. And then they say, okay, well, we look at the grants program. So we did have participants in the grants program, and we still reviewed some applications, but that's because they're close and they truly believe in the project, not because they just saw the grants program on the website and they're a good developer. And most of them, they spend less and less time reading things, and especially the talented people, they just want to just get it right away. And if they see the token is not listed and things like that, they're like, okay, well, it doesn't make much sense to read this, and they go to their next whatever. So the playground is there. It's working for Bloxburg. We will launch probably before the end of the year a version or activate a Polygon version for the testnet, and then we engage developers. Then they will respond much easier to our engagement. So the application is there, and it's not for general use. It's for developers. Developers have to adopt our technology. They are, let's say, the target, and then they are the audience we are onboarding and welcoming to our network, to our ecosystem right now. They will get benefits from working with us, obviously, but they also lead to building on top. So again, this is another call to the community. If you know somebody, a smart guy, or they can, okay, I've been in this project for so long, and now they did this is working, it's very useful, you're a smart guy, just look at it, see how you can make this work, or it's protecting your customers' information, and have them look at it or contact us about it, and we will add them to our our process of onboarding developers. And of course, part of this process is clarifying a lot of things. So if somebody really close, we are building also focus groups to where we can better explain how this works. Being something new, it's not so easy to bridge the market, but also confidential computing, it's not something blockchain is relatively new, but people understand it. But confidential computing is something newer than that, and there it needs to be a kind of a discussion. But what I've seen from the marketing side, I've seen more and more push in the Web3 space toward decentralization of compute in general, whether it's confidential or not. So I think this kind of efforts will pay off in the next campaign and bring people in the ecosystem to use it. So far, we have a few projects that actually plan to implement our technology, and one that has already done so um, for testing, of course. And then they're planning to do it extensively, and that's if they, if their project survives. But that's up to them; it's not to us. And this is exactly. So, for example, it could be a regular password manager or messenger. Yes, this is something we're inviting everybody. That's why we do the hackathons. So this kind of attitude, it's what we're seeking from the community as of right now. Like, hey, let's see. But what I encourage everybody is this is coming up. So we're building a process for it, and it goes through the ambassadors program. So they should be connected there, or wait from our side when we were actually starting. For now, they can fill the grant application on the website with whatever information they consider, and then they will be picked up from there throughout our process and move them forward. Because it's very hard. If I get 10 messages and somebody gets 10 messages, it's very hard to in the process, in a good way to go through everybody and touch everybody and not forget somebody and things like that. So these are the aspects here. I think I don't know if there's any more questions. Is there anything interesting? Yeah, is there a technical question?
Want to check out the last ones?
Okay. So the code interface hello world apps solid. Of coding new apps and new environments. Okay, there we go. So UDK, he can apply. He can apply to. Just give him the link. Yeah, let's go. And then we can do a meeting. Actually, you can join our focus group UDK if you want to discuss how this technology is better used. Maybe you have some ideas on how we can promote it. Usually, people are very talented at using things. So there's two kinds of people: people that are very good at doing things, and people that are very good at explaining things, but it's less and it takes time for them to sync up. And that's what we're trying to do in the focus groups, where we tell them as a developer. I'm also a developer. As a developer, I have a background in development. I didn't, let's say, I did develop a few things also in Ethernity CLOUD, a few things. But I'm not a hardcore developer, but I know when I need somebody to explain to me what we're doing or something like that, because sometimes I don't get everything. And this is the stuff we have to clarify. So regarding if you use specific libraries, pandas, now okay, it will be installed to run. Okay, so so if you read the whole ecosystem, there is just open playground in the playground, or go try to research go on the playground. If you have on Polygon, on the testnet on Bloxburg, if you have Ethernity, you can write Python code there and run it. So that's what the playground is. And then there's a library, you can import that and build your own app. So the playground, basically, it's an app that lets anyone type their code there. But if they have their own code specifically for their dApp, they can hard code it. So, and then do it this way. and you can include NumPy. I'm not sure about NumPy or Pandas specifically, but I know you can include libraries into the thing and run. So because I did this for machine learning while doing that. So yeah, this is something we can discuss. That's not hard using it. Again, hard is making others look at it and want to use it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure if anyone is curious enough, they will come and take part in our meetings, and they will love it. So I'm not worried about that. Okay, I think we covered most of the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Sorry, Alvaro, for interrupting.
No,
I just want to cover a little bit some of the comments I've seen on the chat. Guys, it's important to know that our project is connected to the crypto market, right? So, as we all know, the value of digital currencies can go up and down very fast sometimes. So, just like the other regular business can be affected by the economy, our project is influenced by what's happening in the crypto market, right? So what can we do is to keep an eye on those trends and changes in the market to make sure that our project can adapt to those trends, right? So being a part of the crypto world means you're in a space that's always changing and full of possibilities in the same time. For example, I saw something on the chat. Just let me give you just a small example. If you're using an influencer in a bear market, and if you're using an influencer in a bull market, the result can be 1000% different. So we cannot. Eternity Cloud is not outside the crypto world. This is what I want to mention because I saw some comments saying that we don't need a bull run. Every crypto project needs a bull run. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and
course.
It's influenced by the crypto market.
Yeah, that's 100% true. So, especially for Ethernity Cloud as a project. Now, what we're trying to do and we're planning to do in the US with the confidential AI, that's a different story because there's not going to be a token, at least not planned right now. But those will be confidential AI services directly, which will pay into the ecosystem to generate tasks, AI tasks, and this is the type of, let's say, use case where that's not a Web3 business, but Ethernity Cloud as it is with the CLD token, it is a Web3 business, and we do depend on this market. It doesn't matter if, so let's put it this way, if the Ethereum or Polygon, they were also they went through the bear market as well. If you look at the statistics, of course, the ecosystem was not used as much, but it was still used, I guess, by Web 2 businesses or Web 2.5. That's a new trend now, or has been for a while. Which means they have use cases in their business in like banking or like, finance, insurance, whatever. And they use the blockchain. For them, it's cheaper. They maybe use it more often in a bear market, in the Web 2 space or Web 2.5. And these use cases, nobody knows about it in the Web3 space. You see somebody just doing some transactions. That's it. And what they did, they build funds, they build like all kind of stuff they do on the investment side or on the banking side. And you don't really hear about it because you don't have to. While the market is so bare and nobody like knows it's happening. And then in the bull run, the Web3 space blooms and you see so many projects, new things, stuff like that. everything hits you, and like this idea and this concept and so on. And there's a lot of noise, but not so much things going on. The fees are high, and the only ones that are using Web3 is the people from Web3. The ones from Web2, they fork, they do their own blockchain, things like that. They do a database sometimes because it drives their costs higher. So we as a company, of course, we have, let's say, enough tokens to support our Web2 activity, and this is something we're looking at. But of course, in time, we have to think about a DAO and make some decisions on the monetization side. How can you pass, but this, again, there's regulatory coming up, there's the ecosystem is changing, but there will be a transition from Web 2 to Web 3 for everybody in the world. So for that, we have to prepare with the DAO and how things are moving. So that's what we're building for. But again, if today somebody wants to use computing power, they should be able to use it, whether they're Web 2, Web 3. That shouldn't be a limit. But we're building for the future nonetheless. Okay. Grizzly, I'd say if you want to say a few words, or if you want to bring up, I don't know if there's anything else we see and we need to answer. We've been for a while in this meeting now.
Yeah, going on almost 2 hours. No, there's nothing from my side. I just I want to reaffirm the confidence in the community. That on the marketing side, I'm working my tail off, and we'll be all of December going into Q1 2024. But besides that, I ain't got nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah, same with my side.
And then I say this concludes, I think. Or is there anything? Yes, we answered all questions. Yeah.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna personally follow up with a few of you in the community to see if you guys can help us fill in the gaps that you yourselves are identifying.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be potentially creating a focus group, like you said, and yeah, we'll be here, guys. Thanks for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. And happy National Day for most of you, I guess. Some of you. Yeah, and thank you for sitting here.
Thanks for
some of you maybe want to go have a beer instead or something. Yeah, okay. All right, guys, then this is it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much, guys, and let's build the future together.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one.